Nobody believes in you. You've lost again and again and again. The lights are cut off, but you're still looking at your dream, reviewing it every day and say to yourself, it's not over until I win.
Good morning, guys. We are currently 10 weeks out to the Zenix Pro qualifiers in Tokyo, Japan. This is my current physique. Right now, we are currently at 86.4 kilos fasted. The diet hasn't changed. We're still at 3,012 calories on training days, 2,815 calories on rest days, still at 10,000 steps, excluding cardio, 30 minutes of fasted missed cardio every single morning. So today, I am doing something a little bit different, and it's from the comments from one of my videos, whereby someone was asking on how to do posing specifically for bodybuilding and men's physique. And I thought that was a really good idea. But yeah, I think posing is something that's really important for us to focus on. A lot of us, when we think of competing in bodybuilding, we tend to focus a lot on the training, on the cardio, on the nutrition, on the sleep, everything to create the best physique. But at the end of the day, you have to play the sport if you want to get good at the sport. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to pose properly for men's physique and how I personally do my posing practice on a day-to-day basis. It first starts off with fasted vacuums in the morning. So I would hold the wall like this, and I would exhale all the air out of my tummy. And from here, I'm going to draw my belly button into my rib cage, like so. And I'm going to hold that for at least 20 seconds. Most of the time I hold it for 30 seconds, which is better. And of course, just like training any other muscle, you want to do this in a more progressive overload type of fashion. So for myself, I do it 5 times against the wall, 30 seconds for each hold, and about 15 seconds rest in between each hold. Then I will get off the wall and I'll do it freehand. Then after that, I will make my way to the gym, and then I'll do my fasted cardio, which I just finished, which is why I'm so sweaty right now. And right now I'm going to show you guys how I do my men's physique posing. What are the judges looking for? We're not looking for the biggest guy on the stage, nor are we looking for the leanest. We're looking for someone who is the most symmetrical. We are looking for that Y frame specifically, and that's the reason why we wear board shorts. The next important thing, stage presence. The moment you walk onto stage and the lights shine on you, the judges are already making a decision of where to place you within the callouts. Ideally, we are all looking for the first callouts and the eventual win. So the moment you get onto stage, make sure that your core is engaged throughout the entire time. And if you need to rest, please, for the love of God, cover your core. You do not want to show the judges that you are relaxing. This is the backstage. Okay, you can still relax here, everything's fine. But the moment I cross the curtains and the moment the lights shine on me, my core should already be engaged. So before you step onto stage, engage your core by exhaling the air out of your belly. Walk out onto stage with confidence. And this leads us to the very first part of my posing practice, which is the individual routine. So the individual routine consists of about 15 to 20 seconds, depending on the federation that you compete with. For myself, it's about 15 seconds because of the sheer number of athletes on stage. But essentially, you only have time to do a front and back shot and possibly turn to the front again. We want to do this with accuracy and poise, okay? You don't want to look rushed. So I see a lot of athletes doing this on stage. They will look down, unconfident, they'll hurry onto stage. Then only when they get into the position, then they start to pose. No. The moment you show the judges that you have no confidence, that's it, you're out at the first callouts. Act like you own the stage from the moment you step out, even with the time crunch. So this is how I'm gonna do it, okay? Let's pretend I'm coming out from the backstage. make sure the judges get a good look at least the silhouette. Wide top, coming down into a small waist. Stand tall, stand confident. Remember, core always engaged. Make sure you focus on poised transitions, showcasing the best of your physique, right? Turn to the back, nothing too fancy. Get into your back relaxed. Now, how do you execute your front pose? Individual routine. And this also segues into your mandatory poses, which is again the front and back. You can go to the Olympiad stage and see a ton of different posing styles, but not every one of them will suit your physique. For myself personally, number one, I want to make sure that my muscles are popping in the right places. Number two, I'm trying to hide my weak spots. And number three, I want to show the judges that I enjoy myself being here. I belong onto the stage. I belong to the first callouts. So, the standard men's physique poses are as such. For the first one, it would just be a simple arms to the side, okay? This is if you have nothing to hide. For me personally, I think this pose will be really good if you have muscles that pop out really nicely without needing to flex out a lot, right? But not all of us have that. So if you have that, great. Just stand there, make sure you flare out your lats, hang your arms out to the side, make sure your core doesn't relax, okay? So you always start from the ground up. When you get onto the stage, first things first, engage your core. Then you set your lats, and finally rest your arms onto the lats. Slight bend in the knee, lean into the leg, twist the hips a little bit. Thumbs facing to the judges, like this. And also try and internally rotate your shoulders just a little bit. You don't want to hunch over this way, just slightly, okay? Now, second way you're gonna hold your pose will be one arm on the hip, which is what I typically do. One of the two poses that I do. Okay, so for myself, when I get onto the stage, okay, I try and show my strong points in the transition, set the core, push out, set. Now, how do you hold this pose? Make sure you are putting your fist like this, right? And you're pushing your thumb into your waist, okay? So this allows your lats to flare out, and also you're pushing your rear delts out. You see that? So if I just hold my arm like this, there's not much of a bump here. I'm not showing my rear delts to the best of my ability, so therefore it loses that 3D effect. But if I were to push it in, right, and rotate my shoulders out while keeping my chest up, notice that difference? Yep, and make sure everything is square. This arm relax onto the lat, thumb faces out to the judges. And remember, guys, to smile. Always smile. Don't look like you're constipated on stage, okay? The judges want to see effortless posing, which is why posing practice is so crucial if you want to win your show, or at least place really well, okay? So, once again, the two poses that we've learned so far, okay, will be the arms relaxed to the side. Number two would be the one arm on the waist. The last front pose that I personally use as well will be both hands on the waist. So essentially this is like a lat spread in bodybuilding, but with a little bit of poise from the men's physique. First, I set my foot positioning, okay, which I will get to a bit more later on. You release, get to the position. So same thing with the one arm on the hips. You want to make sure you're pushing your thumbs into your hips, allowing your lats to flare out this way, and you are rotating your shoulders slightly forward, not all the way, because then you're going to flatten your physique, okay? Chest up, again with the core tight, push your thumbs in, and shoulders forward just a little bit. And make sure that the waist is tilted in to hide that waist. I personally think that this is the safest posing style that you can adopt. Okay, now before we go into the back pose, let me just talk about the foot placement first. How we're gonna set our foot, okay? Because like I said, posing starts from the ground up. So, when you get onto the stage, again with poise. You want to walk up confident, abs engaged, flare out your lats, walk around like as if you own the stage, right? Acknowledge the judges and the audience, time it right. What you're gonna do is put your front foot and face it 45 degrees, right, from the front. Lean into this front leg and the other leg will come in, pointing in the opposite direction. Okay, so you're looking at a 10 o'clock and a 2 o'clock direction. Okay, like I said, shift your body weight into the front leg. Okay, your feet are essentially shoulder width apart. You're going to rotate your hips in this way while flaring out your lats. Okay, and essentially this is how you set your legs. If you put it all together, walk into the stage confident, acknowledge, set the legs, get into the men's physique pose. Okay, now transition. I wouldn't worry too much about it. You can do something as simple as squeeze and shift to the back, but do not shuffle around as if you're trying to find your balance. That shows a lack of confidence and you are going to get marked down for it big time. For myself, I tend to do something like this: a squeeze in the core, single bicep into a back pose, right? Or sometimes I do the Ventura step, so it looks like this, and I go to the back. Do it in one smooth movement. I don't want to see you just shuffling to the back like a little penguin. In any case, the back lat spread, okay, here it is. Okay, so essentially this will be like a lat spread. Okay, so if you don't know how to do a lat spread, it's like as if you're doing a lat row machine. Okay, you're gonna draw your elbows back like this. Okay, thumbs onto the waist, and you're going to push your shoulders forward like this. You see that? The movement comes from the shoulders, it does not come from the arms. Okay? Because we need to think of the insertions and the origin of the lat. The lats, they insert right here. So you want to make sure that you're moving that area and therefore you're protracting the shoulder blades in order for you to get the maximum stretch in the lats. A really good way to get your lat spread perfect is to make sure that you're focusing on proper technique when you're training your lats, especially in your rows and your lat pull downs. So anyway, for myself, I get into a transition, okay, and I hold the pose here. So the first thing that you want to do is to get that lat spread, okay, foot placement neutral in the middle, okay. This one you don't really need to focus on engaging the core. I want you to think more of a vacuum. So from the side view it looks like this, okay. You set, get into your lat spread first, okay. From here I want you to lean back slightly, engage your lower back just slightly, don't overdo it, okay. For your arms, I want you to pretend you are trying to break a stick in front of you, okay? Like this, break the stick, tilt back, and this is the crucial part, make sure that your chest faces up to the ceiling, okay? You're gonna hold this pose for about 15 to 30 seconds, then you relax and go back to the front. So if I were to show you one round of posing practice, okay, I'm gonna hold each pose for 5 seconds just for demonstration, but this is essentially how I do it. I acknowledge the judges, notice how my core is already engaged. Get all the pointers in from bottom to top, and make sure that the core stays tight the entire time. Shallow breaths. Walk to the front, acknowledge again. Get into your individual routine. Front pose. Favorite transition. To the back. And then to the front. Acknowledge, and walk to the back. Now, at this point, do not let go of your core. You are imagining as though you're walking back into the lineup, allowing the other athletes to do their own posing before you then get called up for the first call out, second call out, so on and so forth. So you are still on stage, and like I said, as long as the stage lights are on you, do not let go of your core, okay? You could stand pretty much relaxed at the back. You don't have to crunch too hard, just stand at the back, but make sure that you are engaging with the judges, engaging with the audiences, show them even at the back scene that you are happy to be here. Okay, because the judges, they notice. Even though they're not looking at you directly, they notice this. So you're just gonna hold the pose here, okay, for a while. Imagine that you're being called out to the first call outs, okay? From here, I imagine myself being called out, thank the judges, show gratitude, set, and this is where we start to hold our mandatories, okay? You get into the mandatories right from here. Looking nice, relax. Imagine in your head that the judges say, athletes face the back, transit. Hold your back pose for another 15 to 30 seconds, longer if you can, and back to the front. And that, my friends, is one round of holding your mandatories. For me personally, I do a total of 3 rounds, and then I acknowledge the judges. I walk off. Only when I'm outside of the camera do I then relax my core. That's how you do your posing practice, guys.
Alright, I'm back home, so I'm gonna end off the video right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, do like, share, and subscribe as always. And click on the bell notification icon so that you get updated every single time I upload a video onto YouTube. With 10 weeks out to the show, edging in close into the single digits. Let's keep strong, guys. Ciao.